Alright, so beautiful day here in eastern South Dakota. Beautiful, sunny, warm. I think it's like 70 degrees Fahrenheit out. Beautiful October day. Loving it. And so the question today is on honey, and let's get right into it. I have a question in regards to honey. What is your opinion on it, as it has zero fat, and what is your thought on consuming it? Will it be fattening to me, and I'm not trying to lose weight but maintain my weight? That's an excellent question. Honey is something that I used to consume, not a ton of, so I don't have like a, wasn't a honey aficionado or anything like that. You know, you see people on YouTube who, their party trick is drinking honey by the, out of the, liter jug or whatever it is, just downing it. That wasn't me, that wasn't ever me, but when it really comes down to it, it's just looking at it as a food. I'm not a huge fan of honey, as it's just basically a refined sugar, and it's not a refined sugar in the sense like a typical refined sugar would be. Like you take maybe like whole cane sugar and then you refine all the fiber out of it and then powder it and then put bone meal in there to make it all white and chalk it up and then put that in your Twinkie. Not in that sense, but it's like a naturally refined food. Isn't that? It's a fiberless food, very dense in sugar without the fiber. And while it's not the worst food in the world, it's definitely not what we're looking for if our goal is ultimate health. And so, well, if you have a tablespoon of honey 3 times out of the year, you're not going to drop dead, but it's not something that I would recommend to people really on any occasion. Another thing to consider is the acidity of it. It's just a very acidic food. It can have a very acidifying effect on your oral health and as well as the rest of your system as a whole. But one thing that a lot of the low carb, fans are talking about is they say that, the sugar in fruit is bad, so you shouldn't have too much fruit, but then they're like massive fans of honey. And so that's a bit of a contradiction I see that's just not very consistent, not very congruent with what people really think. One thing that you could also consider from more of a vegan perspective maybe is, while it's definitely not the exact same thing as slitting a cow's throat by eating a bee product, they take the bees and they smoke them out, and many of them die from suffocation from being smoked out and the harvesting the honey and bee products, and then they retake all the bees' honey, while they've spent all that energy putting out that honey, then they replace it with organic cane sugar, which is definitely not what the bees are supposed to be eating. And even if it's organic farming, they just replace it with organic sugar. From an ethical perspective too, regardless of how, low on the chain, or food chain, or life cycle, whatever people might think that just bugs are, but also just considering how much of an ecological impact the bees have on our whole ecosystem. And if we're just, stealing all their food to put in our superfood smoothie to sweeten it up because we're too scared of eating fruit, kind of taking a critical look at it, you might come up with some different conclusions. And so if you have any desire for refined sugars like honey or agave or mesquite powder or anything like this, maple syrup, it's definitely a sign that you just need more sweet fruit. Get the sugar from your fruit. It's fiber intact, high in vitamins, minerals, coenzymes, enzymes, phytonutrients, everything. Just get it from the source, get it from the tree, get it from the bush, get it from the plant, get it from the fruit. Don't steal it from the bees. See you next time.